Emma, it's 3 a.m. What are you playing Battlefront? It's 3 a.m. and are you playing as the Separatists? Not you too. We had a conversation about this as a family. We said this is a no Separatist family. No clankers in this family are allowed. We talked about this. You can't be a Separatist, baby. Okay? She's playing as the Separatist, babe. She's not allowed to do that.
Why?
Because we serve the Republic, democracy.
And?
I don't allow it. I won't allow it. She cannot be serving the Separatists under my household. I cannot allow it to happen.
She can play whoever she wants to play.
No, you cannot. You cannot be a Separatist. I won't allow it at all. Nothing, zilch, no. Perhaps I spoke a little too soon. Babe? Zeke? Hey, let me in. Babe, I changed my mind. Babe.
All right, everyone, what is up? So glad to have you back for another week of the Comics Lounge. This week, we're going to be talking about some Star Wars stuff, some just where comics have been for the past 2 months of 2022. And to talk Star Wars, we obviously need the Star Wars man himself, VK on Comics. How's it going?
What's up?
How you been?
I'm just waiting for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, I can't wait. It's that should be an amazing show. I've been loving everything that I've been seeing about it.
I need to catch up a little bit more. I know there's been a lot of leak stuff, and I need to catch up on that.
Yeah,
But I just I needed a little break. Book of Boba
for
Fett
sure.
traumatized me a little bit.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for like some epic stuff, and then I was like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, dun, 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 Mandalorian to the rescue.
Yeah. See, that kind of had me like, I don't know if we needed Mando in this, but at the same time, the story they told, they needed Mando to help get the job done. So it's like, is it the right time to bring him into Book of Boba Fett, or should they have waited? And season 3 could have been what we saw, but just pushed back a little bit. I don't know. It was tough to tell where they were going and what direction they were taking it in.
Agreed. And I think that bringing Mando in, it kind of downplayed Boba, because if you I don't know if you were on IG during that time, but like all the memes were like,
Oh yeah.
The Book of Mando's really good. When does Boba Fett come in?
This week on the Book of Boba Fett, cameo appearance by Boba Fett.
Yeah. And then also too, it's like you think of Boba Fett, you just think of this just epic bounty hunter, badass. And he kind of gave the impression of like your uncle who drinks a little too much.
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit, and I was just like, and then Fennec Shand was more ruthless than him.
Yeah.
I was just like, what's going on here? But then again, it's like they did some pretty cool stuff. You know what I mean? And I was surprised they brought that many cameos on.
I agree.
That was a lot of cameos.
Yeah. They did right by a lot of things. I really liked the Tusken Raiders aspect to it.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was something that I was not expecting, and I really like when it's taken in a direction where the fans can't always predict it.
Yeah,
it was nice.
The Book of Boba Fett. I didn't watch any streams of guys trying to predict. You know what I mean? Or I didn't watch any of those streams. But I bet you they were all wrong, because I don't think anybody could have predicted that. That's series.
I don't think there was much. I think the biggest thing is there was nothing that we knew about the plot. It was all Boba Fett's coming back. He's going to be the new king of Tatooine, and that's going to be that. More on this when you see it.
And I was expecting like the Star Wars Sopranos meets Sopranos or something, and I was just like, but then again, you know who the executive producer was of that show?
No.
Kathleen Kennedy. So that is why I think it went the way it did.
You mean there was no direction?
And there was
just like the sequel trilogy?
And there was a lot of like, I don't know. It just seemed like it seemed more Disney than George Lucas.
Yep.
The Book of Boba Fett. And when it's more Disney, to me, that's Kathleen Kennedy.
Agreed.
And then when you take something like Mandalorian, you're like, oh, okay, this is George Lucas type stuff to me.
Oh
to
yeah.
Me,
Yeah, I feel like Jon Favreau channels his inner Lucas films whenever he's producing and directing.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy is not a Star Wars fan. She's just a producer. So she doesn't know what it is that makes Star Wars Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest struggle, is that you have this producer who is trying to put out something that she sees as good, but is like, oh, Mandalorian did really well. If we include him in our show, we'll do really well. But it was actually the opposite. It was you included him, and that took away from everything we could have gotten with the beginning of season 3 of Mandalorian.
And also, if you ask me, there's another layer to this where it, and I wonder if the fandom feels this way. If by bringing in Mandalorian in, it's almost like she sealed her fate of like, oh yeah, Jon Favreau and oh Jesus,
I can't think of the name either.
Dave
Who?
Filoni.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They know what they're doing, and Kathleen Kennedy obviously doesn't when it comes to Star Wars.
Yeah, and she's like the Kevin Feige of Star Wars, right? She's pretty high up there. She's above Favreau, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she is higher than them guys.
Yeah.
Title wise, but in house, I think Favreau and Filoni have finally been like, hey guys, I think it's obvious we know what we're doing. So,
I mean, they're on the verge of basically making the sequel trilogy non-canon. That's where this will go. And I mean, this could have easily been something that was solely based on like Mandalore, something that was solely based on Tatooine. Like, it could have been a whole different Star Wars lore that we had never seen before. Like I thought we were going to get with episodes 1, 2, and 3. And then you start to mix in this other stuff, and you mix in the Luke aspect, and you mix in the Grogu aspect, and the Mandalorian aspect, and Ahsoka. And I was just like, why that we don't need that in this show? This should be there should be no Force recognition. Like the Force should just not be a part of this at all. It doesn't need to be.
I definitely agree on that. And it's so interesting. We were talking, and then you mentioned, or you reminded me about how Luke showed up, Grogu showed up, Ahsoka showed up, Cad Bane showed up, Cod Vanth showed up. Yeah. It's like the Black Chrysanthemum showed up. It's like, and you're right. It's almost like I feel like this was rushed.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Luke, Grogu, Ahsoka, Cad Bane, Mandalorian. It's gotta go well if we do all that.
Yeah.
And I was listening to another streamer who made a good point. He was saying how he's like, I enjoy the show, but where are they going with it?
Yeah.
It just seemed like they took this and this and this and just went and made a sandwich and said, here, enjoy.
It's almost like Kathleen Kennedy said, you know what people would really love? A Boba Fett TV show or a Boba Fett movie. Let's make it happen. And she didn't care how it was made happen. She just said everyone will watch it because it has Boba Fett on it.
Yeah.
Because his 7 minutes of fame back in the 70s led to a complete underground of everyone loving this guy for no reason, because we never actually saw him fight. Like we saw him fight a little bit, but it was like 3 minutes worth of time that he was actually fighting, and everyone built this story around him. Yeah. And it was just like, this is almost like don't meet your heroes. Like, is that the issue, or is it, I don't know. Did they just not know what to do with Boba Fett because it was more time than he had ever gotten on screen? Or it's weird to see one of the most recognized characters of all of Star Wars be done so poorly.
Yeah. Or is it because, and why didn't they just recast him?
Yeah.
Like, why not do some, I don't know, some really, why not? Oh, it's Star Wars. That's like one of the things they say, like when somebody goes, hey, something's not adding up here. Why is that like that? And everybody just goes, that's Star Wars.
Yep.
So why not do something where like Tamara Morrison gets killed off, but they clone him. And that's how they recast him. It's a clone version. And then this new clone version is somebody we can believe that can really kick ass and take names.
Yeah.
Instead of, Grandpa Boba Fett. It kills me to say that, but it's just,
Oh, I know.
it kills me because I was just like, no.
Yeah. I was hoping for like even possibly like if we could see like some clone troopers involved and them growing old on Tatooine and them getting involved. I feel like that would have been so much better. Like that team up between Boba Fett and some clone troopers compared to Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. Like, I don't think we needed the Mandalorian for that scene, for that fight. There were so many other options that he could have gone with, but he went with the one person who, again, drew in a crowd for Star Wars, and it fell flat on its face.
Yeah. And also, too, it's like logic. You would sit there and go, why did he call Mando? Why didn't he call his old bounty hunter buddies?
Yeah.
Like, where's Zuckuss, IG-88,
Yep.
Loam? Like, I was really expecting to see those guys.
Yeah, same here. I thought we were going to get like Bounty Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and that would have been epic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like seeing those guys, like all of a sudden, say like for instance, when they were fighting those what are those destroyer droids?
Yes. Yep. The rollers.
Yeah. But they're like Godzilla rollers.
Enormous. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like rollers 2.0. You know, like, during that scene, oh, it would have been epic if all of a sudden Forlom comes out of the corner, or Zuckuss lands. You know what I mean? Or IG-88 comes out of nowhere, and it's like that's what it would have needed, and I think that's what the majority of fandom I think were expecting.
Yes. Personally, I didn't know what to expect. I thought this was going to be just like Boba Fett has a book, like a list of people that he had to cross off. Like, these are the people who wronged him when he went into the Sarlacc pit, and this is what he needed to get done in order to do XYZ. And instead, it turned into this: you killed my the family that adopted me in and brought me in, so I'm going to take revenge. And it's like, yes, you built a relationship with those people, but it didn't seem like he was there for more than a couple months. So this relationship that he built, would you really go to the mat for those people because of this biker gang and because you think it's this and the Pikes? And like, I like the idea of bringing the Pikes in, but again, a Pike versus a bunch of bounty hunters who are there because they trust Boba and they respect Boba is so much more believable than Grogu, Mando, and Fennec Shang siding with Boba and that being that.
Yeah, agreed. And also too, being the ruthless bounty hunter that Cad Bane was telling us about, and who worked closely with Darth Vader, would he really get attached to Tusken Raiders that easily, that fast? Like,
no.
To me, the Boba Fett that was working so closely with Vader would have went back and saw all the Tusken Raiders wiped out and went, oh well, all right, let me see what I can take.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can
what can I do for me in order to get away from here? Like, yeah, you ruined your face with the flamethrower in the Sarlacc pit, but like, come on, there's so much more to it. And then it's basically like a story of him trying to earn the respect of people. And it's like, isn't he one of the most feared bounty hunters in all of the galaxy?
I was going there next.
How is he not well known if he's standing next to Vader himself?
Or being Vader's right-hand man on certain projects, like, wouldn't you also have like a couple contacts in your list where you can go, I'm gonna need like 3 TIE fighters to wipe out some Pikes down here. Can somebody send somebody? You know what I mean? Yep. It's like, you're Boba Fett. It's like, come on. Or why not go, hey, you guys over on Camino, I've helped you guys a lot. I need a couple down here to wipe some people out, okay?
Yep. Which, I don't know. I feel like, again, they rushed it. They wanted to put a show out there, and they didn't care what they put out there because it was Boba Fett.
Yeah, I agree.
And there was no callback to any source material that I was made aware of. I mean, I don't read Star Wars comics that much. I've always just been a fan of the shows, and the comics have always just never been something I've been a true fan of. The ones I've picked up have been really good. I've picked up like the first appearance of the Ewoks in a True Believers format. Some of the newer stuff I'm reading, the High Republic issue 7, I picked up a couple like last year or so. That was really good, but I don't pick it up on the regular, and I don't know. Just from what I've heard, there's a lot of really great content in Star Wars comics, and they pulled none of that for this show.
I would think was Coruscant, is that pulled?
Yes.
I would think
he's from the comics, but it's like you can pull characters all the live long day, but if you're not pulling stories that people know and love, and again, you're just pulling cameos to do fan service.
Yeah.
Like, I have not been impressed with Star Wars ever since Last Jedi.
Agreed.
Mandalorian was phenomenal, and Rogue One was phenomenal, but other than that, I mean, nothing they've come out with has been over the top amazing. It's not been Clone Wars good. It's even Bad Batch kind of left me not wanting more. I was like, okay, it's over.
Hence why I've been kind of MIA on the Star Wars scene. I know, because I get DMs all the time. They're like, where you been? What are you doing? I'm like, there hasn't been a show that's motivated me, you know?
Yeah.
Like Mando motivated me. Like Mando brought me back, you know what I mean? In the Star Wars universe, you know? But after that, I'm like,
And Rogue One proved you don't need Jedi in a movie in order for it to be phenomenal.
You need to want to be Jedi, though.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest issues that Star Wars is doing right now is they're trying to feed into this woke culture of, hey, if we just throw a woman in there, we'll be good to go. And it's like, no, there's plenty of women in Star Wars who are very, very well off and well known. Like Princess Leia was a very well known character.
Powerful, strong, confident.
Like there was nothing about that character that needed to be changed, and they ended up killing her off. I get like the actress died, but like what they did in Last Jedi with her, where she like floated out and then floated back, I was like, what the hell was that?
And we didn't even touch on that rainbow colored moped gang.
I was willing to look past that because I can understand Boba wanting some locals on his side with the issues that he was facing. I was willing to look past that. But the Power Rangers gang showing up was just, I don't know. And then you've got like this whole thing with the town sheriff. I'm like, why would Cad Bane go and kill him? There's no reason to kill him. That's not going to piss Boba off. He barely knows him.
Yeah, good point. Well, or maybe he just wanted to see, like, let me meet this guy. Let me see if he's a heavy hitter or nobody. And he was probably like, oh, this guy's nobody.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Was there... Go ahead. Was there any... Besides Cobb Vanth, showing Cobb Vanth in the Bacta tank,
yep.
Was there any other like type of inklings on where they're going with the next show, or where it's headed, or
not that I can see? Because I think they're doing a season 2 for this. I think it was almost immediately greenlit for 2 seasons, but with Mandalorian and Obi-Wan, I think it will depend on where Obi-Wan goes. I think it will depend on where Mandalorian goes in order for them to even do anything else with this. If Mando goes back to Mandalore and like deals with that stuff and like starts Mandalore up again, that's going to be a totally different version. Like there would be almost no reason to bring Cod Vanth into that.
Interesting, yeah. And I wonder what was that about with his sidekick?
Who?
The guy who Cad Bane killed.
Oh,
Like, what was that about? Like, who is he?
Yep.
Like out of nowhere, and I was like, who's this guy? And all of a sudden, he gets killed, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I think that's Kennedy trying to do the Marvel effect, where if you add a little bit of humor into something, it will make it all the better, and it just didn't work.
Oh, well, that moped gang to me was Kennedy's idea.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that was totally her idea and totally her little project of like, no, this must be in there. This will sell.
Who else is going to back him up?
Nice.
Yeah. No, it easily could have been the Pikes versus Boba from the start. He climbs out of the Sarlacc pit. He realizes how down this planet is because of the Spice Run. And he decides, you know what? I'm going to take over the palace. That's my mission. And he starts dealing with them on his own level. But like, as you said, he's so old in this. It doesn't seem believable for him to go off and fight. Like, there's a reason why Jabba never left the palace. He had no reason to. People feared him. And he was old as can be.
And big as hell.
Yeah.
It took him a day to go somewhere.
I still feel sorry for the guys who had to carry his niece and nephew in on the thing. I was like, really, right now? Now we got to bring them back into this? Like, you're bringing character after character and not developing a goddamn thing.
Yeah. In my eyes, the Tuskens and Boba Fett taking over that palace should have been the first season.
Yep.
Because Boba Fett taking over the palace, you have Black Crescent, you have the Rancor, you have the Tuskens. That's plenty.
Yeah.
That's plenty. And then you could even get, and through unfolding that, okay, maybe get in a little deeper. Why is Boba Fett so connected with these Tusken Raiders?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know, and then a little bit deeper. How did what if Black Crescent was Black Crescent a bounty hunter?
I think he was a bounty hunter, and he was on the side of the Hutts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're both bounty hunters. Why didn't they have like a professional relationship, or mutual respect, or know each other? You know what I mean? Or that then why not go into why you guys don't like each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't go into that. And then the Rancor thing. Dude, the Rancor was badass. I would have loved to see maybe a whole episode of that guy, what's his name? That's always throwing knives. Danny Trejo.
Yes. Yep.
Danny Trejo. That would have been cool, like to go in a little bit, maybe 10 minutes of watching him, how he trained them, or how he got to them, or how he knows them, or even a little history about Rancor or something.
Yeah. And then watching Boba learn how to like master being like one with the what's the monster name that they gave him? Was that the Rancor? The one that's in the pit under the palace?
Yeah, Rancor.
Yeah. Like going into him learning how to do it, and not just all of a sudden, hey, I'll be back in a minute. All of a sudden I'm this amazing guy who knows how to ride it and knows like
they totally skipped that. You're right, because he was like, hey, I want to learn how to ride this.
Yep.
If you want humor, that would have been some funny shit.
Yeah.
Watching him trying to like ride the Rancor and get to know like that would have been like some, instead of making humor out of like they would do little jokes, and the jokes were on Boba and they didn't make him look good. You know what I mean? Like Fennec was like, oh yeah, we got the whole town, settled and locked up, and then Boba's like, I thought you got the town locked up. It's like, wow, Boba, you're looking really, and you and your team are looking a little incompetent, Boba. It's
Yeah.
like, no, if you were once the most feared bounty hunter in all of the galaxy, I think you'd have your plans and your
Yeah.
team on point.
Yep. I completely agree with you. Like it's a perfect example of taking an idea, taking a character, and then having no direction of where you actually want to go with that character.
Yeah.
Because clearly they just didn't have a direction with this. And like you said, easily you could have had him learning how to ride that Rancor for an entire episode and related it back to the Tuskens and done like that flashback thing they were doing. And I didn't like that it was dreams. Like, that was one of those things where I'm like, really, does it need to be dreams? Does it need to be like he's having dreams again? Or can it just be him saying, like, oh, this is like when I did this? Almost like what they did with Green Arrow, where as soon as something related to what was going on, they flash back to what brought him to that point.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
And then you bring in the Pikes. Then you bring in, like, at the end of the season, the whole tribe of Tuskens got killed. So now he wants to go after the Pikes. Now he's going to start recruiting people. Now he's ready to be involved in this. But they pushed it along so quickly. And I think 6 episodes was the perfect length, but they didn't do right by Boba.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they listen to the fans, because they need to do right by one of the most famous characters in all of Star Wars mythos.
Ooh, now that I'm thinking about it, oh my God, it's like, yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do a season 2, because even if they do, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, really, guys, And then I feel like we're totally just bashing the heck out of this. Why don't we switch it up? What do we admire? What do we like about the show?
I like that he actually had a plan, and he actually like wanted to do something that made the town he was in better. Like, it reminded me kind of Game of Thrones, where he's trying to do something where he can turn it around. Almost like Daenerys Strongborn did in Game of Thrones, where she would like go into these towns that were taken over by slavers and just unshackle everyone and become this new figurehead who is there purely to make sure things go well. And while things are going wrong, he's adapting and reacting and doing all of this and building a team and figuring out what he's going to do about each little thing and all that. But like, every little problem was one episode, and it didn't all connect, which was the hardest part.
That's the part. It didn't connect.
Yeah.
None of it flowed. It was just chopped up, and thrown.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you brought that up with the Daenerys analogy, because I agree. But she had such a she could relate because she was under the thumb of her brother. And so she was kind of almost like a slave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yet they didn't do that with Boba Fett. They never explained really. They never explained really why Boba Fett was so adamant about saving the Tuskens and getting revenge and saving the town, and all of a sudden being this altruistic Boba.
Yeah.
Like, why all of a sudden is Boba altruistic? Is it because or maybe it's the Sarlacc pit? Did the Sarlacc pit? Was there some scenes where he said, "Wow, I've been a bad guy and I want to be a good guy now"? Like, did the Sarlacc pit make him like having a spiritual epiphany?
Yeah. Because like everything that we learned about him was he's basically a killing machine. He's used to take out his employer's enemies. And why all of a sudden would we believe that this character is just going to have a complete change of heart after the Sarlacc pit? Like, they could have easily went into what he was feeling, thinking, going through all of that. Like, that would have been another great flashback instead of just, hey, here's how he got out.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It
Did
didn't seem right.
So when he was in the Sarlacc pit, there was a stormtrooper.
Yep.
Why do you think they picked for it to be a stormtrooper? Like, I feel like the stormtrooper would have had some type of meaning. Is that what's, triggered his spiritual awakening? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I've been this bad guy working for the Empire, and look at this. I ended up in a Sarlacc pit with another Empire stooge. Am I just an Empire? Like, is this why I'm here? Because I've gone the way of the Empire. Maybe I need to go somewhere else. Yeah, we're talking about that right now. For you. I want to hear some people in the chat. What do you guys think of the Book of Boba Fett? What are your thoughts? Feel free.
No, seriously, I just like, you could have easily done something where he has that epiphany. Like, he sees, like, you could have done flashbacks to Vader, flashbacks to fighting Luke, flashbacks to all of that, and just him being like, wow, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I believe in. This is not who I want to continue to be. Like, that's a near-death experience, falling into a pit that's literally designed to eat you.
Was going to mention, when he came out of the Sarlacc pit, 3 out
That's
of 10.
being nice.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it like 2.5, 3.
It's not the only reason why it's not a 2 is because of Mando and Rancor.
Yeah,
and even his ship. That ship was the Naboo starfighter that they just silverized it, chromed it out. But when you saw him get in it, you're like, it was like, that's not really a Mando ship. You know what I mean? It seemed like, I could just see him in like, I don't know, just something more rugged and more like, I don't know.
And then, of course, you have that scene at the very end of the show with Mando and Grogu in the starfighter where he goes, no, not again. And all Grogu wants is for him to press that button.
Yeah.
I was like, a great scene, but not needed.
Right. And too, like, really?
Yeah.
Mando's portrayed as a good father.
Yep.
Saying no, and then giving in, that's not good parenting. When you first say no, you have to stick with the no. Otherwise, it's going to go, oh, I just nag him long enough and he'll say yes.
Yep.
I was like, I'm a parent. I'm like, no, don't say yes.
I have to say, the best scene from the entire show had nothing to do with Boba Fett. And that's what I was so pissed off about. That's why, like, it just kept pushing it down for me. The scene where Mando is in the, I think it's like a drug cooler or like whatever that like factory is.
Yeah. Oh,
and he ends up cutting himself.
The meat packing facility.
Yes. Yep. And like, that scene was just so well done, but it should have been Boba. It should have been Boba in a scene like that.
You're right. That would have been such an epic scene because Boba's gritty and dirty and like, like Mando looked out of place when he walked in there.
Yeah. Like, he didn't belong in that scene. And like, you're telling me this is like Boba Fett's show and you're going to put Mando in like the coolest scene out of anything. Like, that's what the whole show should have been, was Mando walking into these places, taking names and kicking ass and letting everyone know, I'm not one to be trifled with. Not, hey, I'm the new guy who's sitting on Jabba's throne. Give me gifts. Like,
sitting there in that chair with his belly. It's almost like how he's sitting there in that chair with his belly. I thought like they were going to come in and like take a picture with him like Santa Claus.
Yep. and like, the moped gang could have been done so much better. Like, if you get rid of the speeders and you literally just have those people be like this group of people who trust Boba, who want Tatooine to be better, who want that town to be better. And they're like, you know what? Maybe Boba's the way to go. Let's go find out. And then Boba kind of recruits them and they want to be a part of it and all like that I could have seen. But them being the ones who are like just destroying this town, like, come on, really? And then you got to make it about hey, they put on the droid eyes. I'm like, come
And also, now I'm nitpicking. I was about to say, I feel like I'm nitpicking now, but I was about to say, and you're in a desert. If you know anything about a desert, the desert and the weather, the temperature, the sand, the wind destroys everything.
Yep.
And then meanwhile, you got these brand new painted, shiny mopeds. You know what I mean? You're like,
Yep.
oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, nothing in Star Wars ever really had a lot of color. It's all been greens and beige and tan and like.
You're right. And then that I think that's why it shocked Star Wars fans so much. And you saw so many negative memes about it because they were just like, I even was like, Jesus, tone down that color. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Like even when you go to like places like Mandalore where the armor is extremely flashy, it's not bright.
Yeah.
It's just, it has color. It's a very dull blue. It's a very dull red. That was just like beautiful, vibrant rainbow of moped. Like, what the hell? So before we sign off and end with just like trashing Star Wars, Obi-Wan, what has got you excited about Obi-Wan?
At this point, how good is it going to be? That's really it. Like I'm a little bit nervous and scared. Like after Bad Batch and after the Book of Boba Fett, I'm like, I'm just sitting there going, please be good. Please be good. Please be good.
Yep.
And you?
I'm right there with you. I'm hoping that it's good and whatnot, but I'm hoping that we get back to lightsaber battles and like these long drawn out fight scenes that are well choreographed. Like that's what I'm looking for. And I didn't really think about it until I saw it in a video today on, I think it was Instagram. And it was like, it's sad that we went from having the best fight scenes when the CGI was terrible to having fight scenes with lightsabers now where they're using the force to hold back the lightsaber. And like where did all that great choreography go? And now that we have better CGI, why aren't we using it? Like the fight scenes, the lightsaber battles in the sequel trilogy were just terrible. And then you've got like these battle scenes where Boba and Fennec are surrounded and it's like, okay, let's see what they've got. And it's like, oh, they'll just take them out real quick. No worries. Like, no, I want to see a long drawn out fight scene. Like Boba's an old guy. He's getting tased. What does he have in his arsenal that's going to get him to the next level? So with Obi-Wan, like, I'm hoping that Ewan McGregor's like, okay, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be the next Star Wars legend who is completely forgotten about because his show sucks. So how am I going to make this a little bit better?
And then I'm hearing that they may show Vader without his mask.
Interesting. And Hayden Christensen's coming back for this.
Yeah.
From what I understood. So he's going to put the Vader suit on for the first time. Well, not really the first time, but
kind of half the first time. Because when he put it on, he was half a person.
Yeah. And I mean, like when he put it on in Revenge of the Sith, was it episode 3?
I think so.
It almost didn't seem like there was anyone in there. It was like everything was coming down on him, and then you just saw like a mannequin version of him just kind of rise and then go no, and that was it.
Yeah.
So like this is the first time we're truly gonna see him be Vader, which again, can he be Vader? He did
Not
a
only
really good
Vader,
job playing Anakin, but he's got to be a really good Vader.
not only Vader, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that we're gonna see an epic Vader. Like I'm talking like talk about your fight scenes. I'm hearing the Vader in this is like the fight scenes. It's like he's running around, he's jumping around, he's flipping. Like I heard it's like gonna be pretty physical.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty epic to see something like that. And I'm hoping for something like that because
Yeah.
I'm hoping for them to. I want it to be Star Wars, but I want it to be like Star Wars next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like them doing a show where Vader's at his peak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be, seeing him like physically and his powers at his peak. Like I hope they really show us some things that we're like, what? A Jedi could do that? Like the Sith could do that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I want to see Obi-Wan like learn new things that we've
Oh,
never
yeah.
seen a Jedi do. Like in Last Jedi, it was amazing to see Luke be able to project himself across the galaxy. I want to see Obi-Wan learn how to do that, or learn how to become a Force ghost, or like learn these different things that they were talking about in the Clone Wars. Like, hey, this is what it takes. This is what you have to learn how to do. Here's how to go learn it. Here's how to do it. And while he's learning all of this, and while he's like becoming the best Jedi he can possibly be, to then find the true chosen one and like complete his final mission, what did he do? Where did he go? Who did he become? Like, that's what I want to see from Obi-Wan. And I don't have high hopes, but I want to see something that I've never seen before with these two characters. I don't want it to just be like, hey, let's take their fight scene from Mustafar and bring it back.
And just change it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. But hearing those rumors that it's going to be a Vader we've never seen before, I am now that I'm talking about it and thinking about it, I'm thinking like I'm getting more excited, and I think they're going to show us some things that's never seen before.
Yeah, I'm hoping. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. Have a great night. Everyone who's been in the chat, thank you so much for joining. And if you're joining on the replay, make sure to go back and watch it, because it's been a really fun conversation all about Star Wars theory. Thanks, VK.
Take care, Chris. Take care.
Have a good one.
Good.